The B-side in boxing.
B-side shit.
B-side.
B-side.
And the B-side.
You got a B-side.
The B-side.
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 That B-side thing.
This is the B-Sides Boxing Podcast.
Is there any news that I missed besides Fury Usyk getting postponed?
No, I can't think of any big fights being announced or anything.
I can't recall either. I don't think there were.
Oh, Shakur Stevenson said he was retiring.
What?
I mean, I don't believe it for a second, but he did put up a thing.
Yeah, that he's going to be spending his time like training or coaching or whatever, perfecting boxing in the new generation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically that's news.
I suppose. But
yeah, I see you have Anaguchi died. That's so sad.
It is.
He has like a little girl, I think.
He's 23.
I think his kid's 1 year old.
Man, 23 years old. That was his, I think, 7th professional fight.
Yeah, he had retired or quit for a year, and then they talked him into going back. Yeah, I can't imagine how shitty whoever convinced him to go back to boxing feels.
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain how to verbalize what. I don't know if it's remorse or in that for me, just not trying to make this about myself, but watching this and taking so much delight in seeing these people do this to each other.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I have trouble reconciling it too.
And this is worst case scenario, of course, but regardless, watching a really bad beating you're still watching someone get years taken off of their life. If not actually living, they'll be pushed into dementia much sooner than they would have otherwise.
Yeah.
In essence, taking years away from them. Well, since we've already come onto it, he was pronounced dead at 17:38 local time. That was on Friday. He's 23. 7th professional fight he lost by decision. We had talked about it almost immediately, when we had recorded immediately afterward, how scary it was seeing him getting dragged away, basically, because he couldn't walk, couldn't stand up. The corner seemed to realize that because they kept him up and not on the stool for the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, the whole situation is just so sad.
I don't know, maybe it won't be easy to get the translation, but maybe we could talk to Punchburger, see what he's thinking about the whole thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen him put anything up on social media since Anaguchi passed away. It was actually kind of sad. It was, I think, the day before he made a post about how he was really hoping for him and hoping he would wake up. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to. I can't imagine that anybody who's sane and moral would want to do that.
Yeah, and they both just seem like nice family guys, you know?
Yeah. Punchburger seems like a really fun-loving kind of guy. I didn't see much about Anaguchi before then, so I can't really say. But like you say, he seems like just a regular family guy that fights for a living.
Yeah, and I have sort of looked around to try and find a place to donate ever since he got hurt, but I haven't been able to find anything in English. There might be something if you can search in Japanese, but
I expect that there's no need for that over there. It's not like the ridiculous American healthcare system.
It's a little closer to the American system than you would think.
Really?
Because, well, I think the Americans have had a very large impact on the Japanese government. So the Japanese government does put a cap on how much medical bills can cost you, but it is a paid system. It's not European.
Yeah, it's not public.
Yeah, because when I moved here, I tried to figure it out, and I do not understand the system at all. I understand that I have traveler's insurance,
Yeah.
But it does seem a little complicated. There's a maximum per day, and there's a maximum, but there is like charges. And if you want to go to a better private hospital, it's also more expensive than they're not free, but the regular
the general
ones.
hospitals, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so if that's the case, then yeah, definitely want to look into that a little bit more.
I mean, plus he does just have a small child that's gonna, need stuff its entire life.
Yes, and widow care, depending on what her skills might have been.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anaguchi, that was a hell of a fight, man.
It was entertaining, and he was in it the whole time.
Yeah, he would.
Every round he didn't get knocked down, I gave
winning.
to Anaguchi.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. Very close, very competitive. Man, what a warrior! Did not quit. Literally had to be dragged away because he would not quit. That was the kind of courage that the man had. So, condolences to the family. Oh man, on that somber note, welcome to B-Sides Boxing. I'm joined by the homegirl Shanada. It's just me and her today. Drip is, I think, he's being taken to Guantanamo Bay. He wouldn't really specify why, but
something about boarding. I don't know.
Yeah. He was going surfing or something. I don't know. Let's see. Biggest thing in the news is the undisputed heavyweight championship fight is postponed. Fury gets a cut on his left eyebrow, and Lennox Lewis he noted it on social media, but I had, even before he had pointed it out, I noticed like that's the same spot Otto Wallin cut him when they fought a while ago. So
yes,
it looks like Usyk has a target here that he can really work.
Scar tissue is a bitch.
Yep. And it's only going to get more prone to cutting as it continues to get hit and cut. So I
also am not a Fury fan, so I'm all about the conspiracy theories of this is on purpose to get him more time to get in better shape.
I hadn't seen those circulating.
Oh yeah, my my messages have been full of memes. There's one, it looks like some off-brand WWE guy stabbing himself as he was thrown off the ring and then coming back with blood going down his face. My friends are like, this is Fury.
Oh, that's right. They do cut themselves on their foreheads.
Mm.
That's right. I don't. I did see something about some Saudi guy, whatever excellency dude is, whatever his name is, talking about there being penalties for postponing the fight, even if it's accidental.
Mm.
That's pretty wild. I think it was 10 mil off of Fury's pay.
That's a big pay cut.
Quite.
But if they're putting those penalties, they suspect Fury is trying to duck as well.
Like, yeah, if you needed more time, just fucking say so. Why did you agree to this date if you didn't think, or if you weren't certain you were going to be ready?
I mean, I think Fury's a little delusional in his ability to come back from being out of shape.
His self-awareness and...
Yeah, and he's getting older. He's not going to drop the pounds as fast as he used to.
Yeah, self-awareness and he's overestimating himself. Still thinks he's 10 years younger than he really is.
I think so.
And in addition to the wear and tear he put on himself, not just from fighting, but from the excesses of food and coke and whatever else he might have been doing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen they didn't give a tentative new date, just pending whatever the doctor says.
Yeah, it is kind of a nasty cut.
Yeah.
I suspect they'll move it back at least a month or two.
Yeah, I was thinking 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, a month or two.
Yep. All right, so that's the only, like, other than Shakur Stevenson, fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I laughed so hard when I saw that announcement. I honestly thought it was a prank when my friend sent it to me. I was like, no way he said that.
It does seem like a bit of a joke. I did think it was a joke, but apparently...
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from him that says it's a joke, but I can't imagine him actually retiring.
No.
I also probably wouldn't miss him very much, though. So...
If we're basing that on the De Los Santos fight, I wouldn't either. But thinking on some other ones that have been a little bit more entertaining, as a character, I think he has a lot to offer the sport, even if
That's fair.
If he's not entertaining as a fighter.
I don't follow the out of the ring stuff as much, especially not the kind of shit talking.
Yeah,
it's not my favorite.
I don't keep up with that either. Just really when in immediate post-fight interviews or conferences, and when Shakur's ringside for stuff, and when Kambosos fought Maxie Hughes, and then he went to talk to Shakur Stevenson, that was really funny.
Oh, that is one that maybe got announced this week. Kambosos and Lomachenko.
Yeah, we got.
Or is that old news?
Drip and I talked about that one before, but if you have any points on it, feel free.
No, it's okay.
All right. Let's get reviews here. We're going from January 21st until yesterday for me, February 3rd. In Osaka, Kenshiro Teraji gets the majority decision over Carlos Canizales to retain his 108 WBA, WBC titles. That one, I had a bit of conversation with Red about this one. He and I both saw this one as to being pretty clear for Canizales. Not to say it wasn't competitive or it was a sweep or anything, but it seemed like there seemed like a lot of swing rounds in the middle, and Canizales, I think, was edging most of them. So I'm not sure what home cooking, I guess, maybe.
I don't think it was egregious.
No,
home
definitely
cooking.
not. No.
I do think they gave the close rounds to Teraji, but they were close rounds.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably exactly what happened, because for me, the majority of the close rounds were for Canizales. So if the home judges gave it to Teraji,
I thought the scorecards were reasonable. I didn't think it was a
no, they weren't terrible
or anything.
No, they weren't terrible.
And I suspect that the crowd is a lot louder than they seem on TV. Especially in Osaka. Osaka's known for being a lot rowdier than Tokyo.
I have heard that, but in regards to baseball.
I think just in general, the city of Osaka is seen as more loud and...
more wild?
Yeah. Less Japanese.
Yeah. Another one, the WBA flyweight champion Artem Dalakian, he loses his belt to Seigo Yuri Akui, and this was a unanimous decision. I didn't see the whole thing, so I can't really say. How Dalakian was always kind of a questionable... He was the question mark of the champions, so I guess I'll have to do a little bit more reading into Seigo and seeing how he can hold his own with Bam. and Martinez.
Yeah, I don't think Sago can hang with Bam at all.
No, probably not.
But I do think he clearly won this fight.
Okay.
I was a little surprised at how lackluster the Lakian was. Like, I didn't think the Japanese guy was gonna win until about round 3. I was like, oh shit, like he's got a chance, and I think he pulled it off.
All right. So maybe it's worth revisiting. I don't know why I took Red's word for it, just saying, it's not worth watching the whole thing.
Yeah, it wasn't like a super fun fight.
Okay.
The underdog won. That was the exciting part.
Now, does Tenshin Nasukawa count as an underdog coming into this fight 2-0 against Luis Pacheco, 15-1?
I mean, I was expecting Tenshin to win.
Yeah, so was I. Just didn't expect it to be that quick.
Yeah. I'm glad Tenshin isn't just like overhyped.
Yeah.
He's famous enough. I want him to do well. I want him to get more people paying attention to the smaller weight classes. But he will always be the person that Floyd dog walked.
And then he cried afterwards.
Yeah, he'll never live that down.
Unfortunately, no. Especially as he continues his boxing career. That's pretty much always going to be thrown in his face.
Yeah.
I think one of the Discord servers has his crying face as an emote.
Yeah. I will say that the culture around that seems a little different here. It's almost expected that athletes will show a lot of emotion if they lose. Like, including crying. The baseball finals for high school, if you don't cry, you didn't care enough and you shouldn't have been there to start with.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's not going to fly in the Western world, but I do think it's a little more accepted for men to show that kind of emotion after losing in sports here. Nobody here makes fun of Tenshin for crying.
I never did either. Like to me, like when Bam kind of collapses with joy and tries to hide his little his shaking because he's crying. Like I see that as really endearing, and I would feel the same if he were to cry if he lost. Like you're very passionate. That's the exact way I would look at it.
Yeah, but I think you're a little more understanding than the general North American man about stuff like that.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm too much of a fucking soy boy, beta liberal snowflake or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the rednecks want to say.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it just shows that you really, really care.
Yeah, and that's part of that whole. I had a conversation with somebody a few days ago about this, just the stigma around men and showing emotion. So yeah, I think it's fine, but whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was anything else on that card really worth litigating, unless you can recall.
No, I
any.
don't think so.
All
No.
Right. Okay, moving on to the one we didn't see.
Yeah, neither of us watched this one.
Yeah, the Matchroom card that was in Belfast in Ireland. Lewis Crocker stops Jose Felix in the 5th. This was a welterweight fight. It's important for people to remember that I think Jose Felix is about the same size as Isaac Cruz. And that's a very small person to be fighting at welterweight.
Yeah.
So you pull up a guy that's sized for about 130. You pull him up 20 pounds. What do you expect?
I'm surprised he made it to round 5.
Yeah, I think they brought him up as a bit of a revenge for stopping the Irish guy on the Irish card the last time out.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Irish, Paddy Donovan.
Ugh.
Perfect name for the segue there. He stops Williams Herrera in 7. And Shavon Clark stops Tommy McCarthy in the 4th. That was welter, and cruiserweight. I think I had mentioned this to Drip the last time I think we talked about this. Was like, this is kind of just a British people card. It's not really for the rest of us in the rest of the world.
I don't mind the British domestic scene. Like, there's lots of good fights in there.
Yes.
But I don't think these were them.
Yeah, there's definitely inside of the domestic scenes anywhere, like the Tsutsumi versus Anaguchi fight. That was a Japanese domestic one, and that was great.
Yeah.
Plenty of Mexican fucking blockheads that just do not stop throwing punches at each other, which is a lot of fun. Now, I don't think, speaking of blockheads, is a good segue for Jaime Munguia's card. But moving on to Jaime Munguia's card, this one, I was able to go to this one, so shout out Golden Boy, thank you very much. I appreciate your invitation. The ones that I felt worth noting, one was Gabriela Fundora. She stops Christina Cruz in the 10th of 10 for the IBF flyweight title.
What did you think of the stoppage?
Yes. So from what I saw from the position I was at, it looked like Fundora hit Cruz with something. I couldn't see what it was, but it looked to me like Cruz was very bothered by it, to the point that she hunched over and sort of tried to like walk away from it because it was so bad. That's what it looked like to me.
So you didn't see like a TV replay later?
They did show it again later, and it while it didn't look on the replay, it didn't seem like something major landed. It was still a really strange way for Cruz to position herself. So So from where the referee was looking at that situation, which I was kind of at the same angle that he was, like it's not all that terrible to think that something serious might have happened.
Fair. I thought it looked like she punched her in the back of the head.
Oh.
And that the ref could have done a bit of a like break and reset.
Yeah.
And it would have been fine. But that's easy to say watching on TV.
Yeah. From what we saw, I'm gonna say we, the ref and I, yes, it looked like something was up. It reminded me. I was talking with Nathan on the Ultimate Casual, the MMA show, about exactly this. It reminded me a lot of this sequence that was in Bare Knuckle FC, where one of the women, the champion, punched the challenger, and she hit her eye in such a way that it ended up being permanently damaged. So, and the way that she hunched over was exactly like that. So
I see. Yeah.
That's what I thought immediately when I saw her, Christina Cruz, hunch over and sort of try to hobble away. That's what I thought of.
Fair. I don't think it needed to be stopped, but that's easy to say watching on TV. All your points are valid. The ref has to make a split decision based on his angle.
Yeah,
so.
Heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Moving up, Alan Picasso gets the decision over Eric Ruiz. These were 122s. I forgot all of I think I spent all of my pun points on Fight Night with Picasso and painting and all the rest of it. But Picasso was pretty. It was an entertaining fight, I think. He can be hit, so like he's not as awesome as Golden Boy tried to make him seem.
Yeah.
but he's still a fun fighter.
I'm going to watch him again for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I don't want to blame this on Darius Fulgham about who I'm not going to watch again, but he gets a majority decision over Alantez Fox. It was an 8-rounder. It honestly felt like a 15.
Yeah, I had actually lined up my schedule to call my dad and my brother and watch these fights together over the phone. And this is the fight that they tuned into.
Oh, man.
And I was like, no, I promise it's going to get better. Like, Munguia Rider will be a banger. And my dad's like, I should have just watched the hockey game.
Oh, man. That's something that we were joking about in Discord as well. Was imagine you tell your friends like, "Hey, you should watch this card. The main event's going to be cool, and there's going to be good fights on the undercard." And then they watch this, and this is what you show them. Like, Jesus, terrible. So the scorecards I thought were funny. Dennis O'Connell hits it with a 98-92, which that's a very reasonable, very, I think, logical, rational scorecard. Craig Harman hits it 100-90 for Fulgham. My thinking here is that Craig Harman was watching this. My thinking of what he was probably thinking as he was scoring was just fuck Alantez Fox every single round. Fuck this guy in the hardest, meanest, driest ways possible. And then
I do not understand this next card.
Javier Camacho, 95-95 draw. So my thinking here, trying to give, like I gave Craig Harman the benefit of the doubt that he's just scoring with his fucking rage against Alantez Fox. I think Javier Camacho rage scored against both of them and just said, fuck both of you. Neither of you win. This is the shittiest fight I've ever seen in my life. 95-95. You are both fucking losers.
Nobody gets fucking anything.
No one gets anything from this. You all suck. Do not fight again. Which, for Alantez Fox being a little bit older, I think he's in his mid-30s, might be about that time. Because he's not getting much better, if at all. So, yeah, if you're struggling with Darius Fulgham, who's not even in double-digit fights at this point, that was his 10th fight. So it might be time to start thinking about coaching or something. As for Fulgham, at first I was having my throwing my jabs at him as well, like kind of clowning on him in chat and everything. But after post-fight, I think it was that sort of, he was really embarrassed that is the performance he put on. Like, he knew it was a packed house. He knew it was people coming to see action. That's what they come to see when they see Munguia.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to deliver that. And I think he was really embarrassed, and he was, I don't know if I don't think shame is the right word, but he felt really poor. He felt really badly about having put on such a stinker. And that was not really his fault that it was such a stinker.
Yeah. I'm sure that he'll be more exciting in his next one, but that fight was just not it.
Right. Alantez Fox was fucking grimy ass. So fucking bad. 35 fights in his career, so he knows how to take the steam out of anybody. And
slow down the action, and man, did he slow it down.
Yep. And he dragged Fulgham into the deep waters, I guess, and let's see how well you can swim, which not terrible, but Bernard Hopkins in the post-fight presser was really adamant, like, now it's time for me to step in and help this kid out, because that type of shit that Alantez Fox is doing, like, that's my bread and butter, so I know exactly how to stop it too. And so Darius seemed really happy about that. He seemed optimistic, but he was definitely disappointed, which that was a redeeming quality to me, that he was.
Being aware that you are not exciting is always good, because if you know you're not, you can work on it.
Yeah, it was. I don't think. How many fights does he have? He was coming in. He was 9-0 with 9 KOs. So he was definitely.
He's used to being exciting.
Yes, exactly. And then he realized, like, yeah, there are some slime balls out there, and it's going to be difficult.
Well, and I mean, that was probably Fox's best strategy: be a slime ball.
Yeah.
He didn't get knocked out.
Nope.
So.
Speaking of getting knocked out, Oscar Collazo, the WBO minimum weight champion,
But little guys never get knockouts.
Right?
Leo.
Yeah, I know they never do. Reyneris Gutierrez gets stopped in the third. I feel really terrible because of how much I advocate for the smaller weight classes, just like you do. As they were walking out and stepping into the ring, I was trying my best to hold back laughter. I didn't realize just how small they actually are until I saw them.
They are very small people.
Yes. Oscar Collazo and Reyneris, they were both standing, like, when they would get near the ropes. With other weight classes like Superfly or Bantam, when they stand by the ropes, their head peeks over. These guys did not. And that's what was making me laugh.
I think the ropes are at 5 feet usually, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And
I have said this before, but for the very small guys, they should use movie magic. And I know it won't work in real life, but on TV, if you kept out everyone out of the ring who was tall, like nobody over 5'9", they would seem like they were a regular size.
yeah, I think that might be why I always, when I see Japanese fighters, because the referee's around, like, not that much taller than them.
But then you get Eddie Hearn walking in the ring, just ruining everything. Or Chris Mannix is really tall too.
Yeah, he is.
Like, do not let Chris Mannix interview the minimum weights. Go send out somebody small.
Yeah. Oscar Collazo, though, that was that's the second fight of his that I've seen, and I think they were both stoppages.
Yeah, I think he's got a few KOs.
He's 9 wins, 7 KOs.
Yeah, that's a pretty good ratio.
Yes. His last one is when I saw him fight Melvin Jerusalem. That was the one. Anyway, Oscar Collazo, he seems really interested in doing more with his... he understands that he's like one of the few sort of quote-unquote knockout artists down at that level, that weight, those divisions. Mm-hmm. So he's going to try to put a little bit more attention on it. All right, now, fun. Jaime Munguia stops John Ryder in 9.
This was a great fight. Yeah. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was very fun to be there. The crowd was insane. Not the most insane crowd I've been in, but it was very lively. People were definitely there for Munguia.
I did hear a few Ryder fans on TV, at least.
There were. There was a small contingent of British people that were there.
That were very loud.
Yes. They were.
Which they always are, but it makes it more exciting.
They were trying their best to be heard. Oscar De La Hoya kept saying, "Statement made." Do you think this is a statement win?
I don't know. Munguia was getting hit a lot.
Yeah, he was.
Like... And I know John Ryder has some power, but I think Munguia needs to work on his defense or someone's going to eventually crack his chin. Like, you can't eat punches like that forever.
You can't eat punches like that from Canelo, David Benavidez.
No, I can't see it. Like, there are some amazing chins out there, but those guys would crack them, I'm sure.
I was in chat. It was weird because everyone was pointing out, like, if they were saying if John Ryder had power, this would be over as the fight started stretching on.
I think Ryder has some power. I don't think he hits the hardest, but it's not like he's pillow-fisted.
Yeah. It has been enough to get him, I guess, up to the point where he is a world-level contender. 32 wins, 18 knockouts. So it's not great.
No, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
But I do agree. If Benavidez was hitting him like that, I don't think Munguia would have made it.
So the question that kept coming up for him in the post-fight presser was, like, who's next? What's next? I believe this was the WBC something or other, not real belt. So he's on the same track as Benavidez. Benavidez being the interim champion, Canelo being the full champion or whatever. And so this kind of makes Munguia Benavidez is mandatory in a way.
Yeah.
He's a mandatory to both, I suppose.
I would rather see Munguia Canelo myself.
Yeah, I think it would be more lucrative, that's for sure, if they put that in a
I just think
stadium.
the build-up would be really fun. I think the actual event would be fun. Not that Benavidez wouldn't be fun, but I think if Munguia loses to Benavidez, the Canelo fight goes away.
Definitely.
So I would rather he skips the possible stumbling block and just gets his big payday.
A very serious
Big
obstacle.
payday.
A very serious obstacle that would stop him from getting a monstrous payday. There was a lot of guys from that were from Mexico in the press, and they kept asking both him and Oscar about why go with Benavidez when the Mexico versus Mexico in-house rivalry is already there. And I remember Oscar saying that would be preferable, that it would be better for that to happen, but Canelo has all the leverage, so they can't really force an issue there. And and he did try to pitch Benavidez as like he's not born in Mexico Mexican, but he's Mexican American just like I was, and my fights with Julio Cesar Chavez were enormous. So there still is that angle to it as well, which I thought had a lot of merit.
So a little bit change of track, but John Ryder was saying that if he didn't win this fight, he was done before the fight. Now, I don't think he needs to retire. Like, I don't think this fight shows him being washed or anything, but I wonder if he is going to anyways.
I was thinking, when you said that, I started thinking the same thing, and that I see this a lot whenever guys say, like, oh, if I lose, then, it's time to walk away. But when they do, if they do lose, they always look really good in that loss. So how do you walk away from you clearly still having it? So yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if this is the time to walk away.
But it's always better to walk away before you have to quit.
Yes, walking away on your own terms or being dragged out.
So I wouldn't be mad if Ryder decided this was my finale, but I don't think he's at a place where he needs to call it yet.
No, he doesn't have to. What is available, just going down the BoxRec list, Benavidez, do not do that. That's just a really bad idea. Derevyanchenko, maybe?
That would be a banger, I think.
Yeah, they're both about the same age. Derevyanchenko's a little older.
Derevyanchenko against Munguia was just amazing. Yeah. And I think him against Ryder would be similar.
Christian Mbili, is in the mix here.
Is he British too,
He's-
Mbili?
He recently became a Canadian citizen. I think he's dual Canada and France.
Oh, okay.
So
British versus France would be
that's
a
something.
good build-up.
Yeah. Caleb Plant, Demetrius, Andrade, not dangerous fights. He would probably lose, but they're not dangerous, I don't think.
I also don't think they would be as exciting.
No.
I think it would be Plant outboxing Ryder.
Would Andre do the same?
I don't know. I don't understand Andre Demetrius's strategy like 90% of the time. Because I think he could just outbox him, but he'd probably also let himself get dragged into a bit of a fight.
That was exactly my thinking. I was going to see if he would pick up on Demetrius having a tendency to be a fucking idiot. And
Yeah. Well, and I think if he was an idiot, Ryder has a chance.
yes. David Morrell, do not do that. Bad idea. Another one that they brought up for Munguia was Berlanga. To give it...
That's also very dangerous and not worth it.
For who?
Munguia.
Munguia versus Berlanga? I think Berlanga's been exposed as a pretty considerable fraud.
Fair enough, but if he lands that one big punch and Munguia's chin finally cracks, but I just don't think the payoff is worth the risk.
I think they're trying to do the Mexico-Puerto Rico thing.
I know it's a rivalry, but I don't care about that one at all.
Yeah, I'm not.
Personally.
I never really cared that much about it either. Beck the Bully, Bektimir Melikuziev.
That would be a fun fight, I think.
Yes. I think he's on
I
the
think
Golden Boy
Munguia
roster.
wins.
Yeah.
But
Also, I think so as well. Anything more on Munguia?
no, I don't think so.
All right. Quickly, there was a Pro Box card on the 31st. There's some fun KOs in there. Antonio Moran stops Romero Duno. That was Mexico versus Philippines. And then Angelo Leo stops Mike Plania in the third. I didn't see where Plania's from, but I'm going to pretend that it's another Mexico versus Philippines.
I have no idea. Yeah. I missed that one. I did watch the Macumbi fight. It was fun. I quite enjoyed it.
That was the one that I didn't see. Was the Macumbi one.
Yeah, the only problem is for me, these are always on Thursday morning.
Yeah.
So I'm usually busy at work and can't watch.
Mike Plania is from the Philippines.
Nice.
And Angelo Leo's Mexican-American, so if that does or doesn't count. Anyway, moving along to Saturday, February 3rd. I think this is a boxer card with the 2X boxer. I'm not entirely sure. I couldn't find any info on it. Or it was limited information anyway. So just quickly, Caroline Dubois stops Miranda Reyes. Adam Azim knocks out Enoch Poulsen in 5. And Joshua Buatsi gets another win over Dan Aziz. So he's starting to string them. He's continuing to string them together. My favorite joke is: Are they saying boo? No, they're saying Buatsi.
Buatsi.
Yeah, that's fun. Light heavyweight. So hot division, and he's trying to keep his head down. I think until Better BF Bivol, I think, is signed.
Is it?
I think it is. Google time. I saw a post on social media that said it was going to be in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know how I feel about the Saudi Arabia stuff.
I'm conflicted as well. June 1st in Saudi Arabia. That's a very stupid date to do it in Saudi Arabia. That's a bad idea. I guess if you do it at night. But yeah, it's signed.
Maybe they have an air-conditioned arena?
Yeah, they probably do. Or they have...
It's still going to be hot as balls, though.
They have immigrant labor slaves fanning the whole arena.
Yeah.
I'm not too keen on this whole Saudi Arabia thing either.
I do appreciate that they're making the big fights happen, and His Excellency, whatever his name is, does seem to actually be a boxing fan.
He is.
Which I like.
In the few conferences I've seen him in, he's very much a boxing fan.
Yeah, which is great. And it's great that there's a boxing fan with enough money to just make shit happen. But why's it gotta be a Saudi guy?
Yeah.
Like, why can't... I don't know. They're also terrible, but why can't Jeff Bezos just pay for
that is
everything
exactly who I was
America?
thinking of. Was like, why can't Bezos be like, hey, let me make it rain for you bitches. Dance for me, you motherfuckers.
Not that his money is any cleaner, really.
Right. Yeah, not by much. Okay, so that's it for Boxer. We'll get into the Bivol Better BF thing in a minute. Matchroom in Vegas. Conor Benn, not allowed to compete in the UK, so here he is at the Cosmo, the Chelsea Ballroom. Johnny Fisher gets the stoppage over Dimitro Bezos. I'm saying Bezos because it's fun. Johnny Fisher looked okay, but Bezos is also like one of those tub of shit journeymen.
Yeah.
So
I like Johnny Fisher for what he is, but he is not a good boxer.
yeah, that was gonna be my exact point. Was like he's fun to watch, but he's not going places.
Well, he's going places, but not world places.
Yeah,
I bet you he's around forever, and he has his contingent of fans that is awesome, and that's fine. That's good.
He's gonna have his Chris Mannix, Demetrius Andrade sort of thing. The nerds are always calling for Johnny Fisher to get a shot that they won't. They know deep down he's gonna lose, but.
Well, and when he retires, he's going to be, like, famous in his small area, and everyone's going to buy him drinks forever at the local pub.
Austin Ammo Williams stops late replacements. Armel Mbomba. I don't know when it was that Armel felt something, saw something that he didn't like, and he was pretty much on the retreat the entire time, leading up to the stoppage, which was a pretty fun stoppage, but it was one of those like getting sad kind of things.
Yeah.
And speaking of getting sad, Conor Benn, unanimous decision over Peter Dobson.
I didn't get through this whole fight before we started recording, but Conor Benn didn't look very good.
Yeah, I actively chose to stop watching it in its entirety and just skim through. Like this is not good. Conor Benn, being on the Matchroom mailing list or whatever, I get all their little press releases, and they spent the last like 3 fucking weeks talking up Conor Benn. Conor Benn's gonna fucking call out so-and-so. Conor Benn wants to fight this and such person. And this is the fucking performance you turn in?
Yeah.
You gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. This is not... No, just stay... I don't know, keep petitioning the British Boxing Board of Control so that you can go back and fight fucking tomato cans over there for people who care.
Yeah. I never liked Conor Benn, and he is such an example of riding on your father's coattails. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like at least Chris Eubank had some modicum of his own success.
Well, and he didn't talk about being his dad as much as Conor Benn does.
Conor Benn, you fucking disappointment.
I hope his dad slaps him when he gets home.
Hopefully. Okay, moving to our previews from today, the 4th, to February 17th.
There is not very much.
Queensberry card in London at the Copper Box Arena. Liam Williams versus Hamza Shiraz. That's the headline. And the only other names I recognize, Anthony Yard versus Marko Nikolic. And there you go. It's other than those two, and Liam Williams is a bit of a stretch, and Anthony Yard is like a little bit of a stretch. This is if you're into fucking British domestic showdowns, here you go.
Yeah, I don't recognize most of these names, and I think I know more of the British guys than the average person. I think I recognize Masood Abdullah.
That name sounds
might
familiar.
Be being racist.
No, that name does sound kind of familiar.
And Tommy Fletcher, I definitely recognize, but he's not anything to get excited over.
Hamza Shiraz, Queensberry's been propping him up for some time, so I've seen his name around, but eh.
Yeah.
So if you want to get more information on this and you want to see the whole lineup, if you go to lvxmedia.net/boxing, that's the calendar. It has everything on it. Now, the Matchroom card, same day. This one's at the O2, like an annex of the O2, the Indigo. I think this is like their NXT series, with like Next Generation. Because Liam Dillon versus Reese Bellotti, I keep getting their press releases about how this is such a huge rivalry, and I have no fucking idea who these people are.
No, me neither.
Shannon Ryan versus Emma Dolan. Macy.
Yeah, there's a lot of low numbers of fights on this card.
And the more experienced people have a lot of losses. So.
Yasmina Zabzatska.
Erdogan Kadria. Yeah.
Jack Oliphant.
Oh, is he?
Oh, I know why that sounds familiar.
Timothy
the
Olyphant.
actor. Yeah. I saw him in person once.
Oof.
He was filming something in Newfoundland, Canada.
Did he have hair?
Yes.
It's always weird when I see him in stuff with hair, just because I'm used to seeing him in that really poor adaptation of Hitman.
I don't even know what that.
It's a video game series.
Never yet. I know Hitman's a video game series, but I didn't know Oliphant had anything to do with it.
Yep, he was 47. It was not a very good movie. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, I'll admit, but I know it's not good. There you go. That's it for the previews. It's a light stretch. The 17th, man, got fucking Tyson Fury's bitch ass. Took a razor blade to his eyebrow because he couldn't.
Yep.
Because he wasn't ready. But there's a lot on the horizon. The 24th, there's some good cards. The 2nd, the 8th.
Yeah, I'm trying to get tickets to the Tekken card in Tokyo. I would really like to go to that arena. That's the sumo wrestling arena.
Really?
It's a very famous one. Yeah.
Huh.
So I haven't been to that one yet. But on the 22nd, there's also a card at Korakuen, the small one near Tokyo Dome.
The Proving Grounds.
Yeah, it's who's fighting on it? There was somebody I would be happy to go see on it as well, but I don't know if I can manage 2 boxing cards in 3 days.
Koki Inoue?
Maybe. I'd have to give me 2 seconds here. I think that's on Ohashi Gym's.
Yeah, it's
website.
Ohashi.
I hate it, but I have to use Microsoft Edge because
the translation is
it translates.
Yeah.
Yeah. because both those cards are Ohashi Gym.
Are they?
Yeah.
I thought the one on the 24th was taken.
Ohashi's got some fighters in it.
Oh, okay. So it's a collab.
Because isn't Takuma Inui also Ohashi Gym?
That's right, because his brother is. So, yeah. Sherwin on Kaha is going to be on that.
Okay, I got this pulled up. Oh, the Nakajima-Nakagawa fight, I think, is going to be fun. I saw both of those on a different card, and they're very Japanese. No head movement and defense, and just kind of stand and bang. So, and I don't know if anyone's figured out how to steal Lemino or convince it you're in Japan, but that card is on Lemino for free if you can VPN into Japan.
The only one I've ever gotten to work is that Abima or Abima or whatever.
Yeah, I know everybody on Discord said they couldn't get whatever fight was on Lemino last time either, but if you happen to be listening and in Japan, it is free on Lemino. Oh, and this Aido Abe, I think he was at the rookie tournament. And it's only a 6-round fight, so I think it's the same guy, but his picture isn't on the poster, so I'm not sure.
He won a decision. It was in September?
Yes.
Holy shit. Where the fuck has the time gone? God. Right. So that one on the 22nd I didn't know about, but
yeah, I don't think it's anything that would be mentioned overseas, but I've got enough of the Japanese social media going on now that I hear about most of them.
All right. I don't think there's anything else. So all of the outro bullshit gets cut in. All right, most of the outro plugs and shit it's already been mentioned. The website lvxmedia.net. There's a calendar there for boxing and MMA. There's different podcasts that we put out, and a lot of articles, press releases that are noteworthy get put up in both the political sphere as well as boxing. There's not a whole lot on MMA, but whatever. Questions, comments, concerns, 833-LUX-PODS is the phone number. If you call, it goes straight to voicemail, or you can text if you prefer. It's anonymous either way. So, LVX MediaNet on any social media. If you can't find it, we're not on it. To be honest with you, the one that I use the most, just I myself, is Instagram. So, like, if you go to Twitter or Threads or anything else, not going to find a whole lot of activity there. But what helps more than anything is if you could drop a rating wherever you're listening. If you're not feeling a 5-star, text me. Let me know what's up. I would prefer to try to work on improving than to leave you hanging. And if you are interested, we do have a shop, and that's lvxmedia.net/shop. If there's some other kind of merch that you want to see, something, I don't know, if you want to take a particular design and move it to like a sweater or some shit, or like pretty much anything you can think of is available. So same, you have my number, let me know. And we are going back to the show right there. So,
cool. Parting
words.
I'm really bad at these. I hope Drip doesn't get too hurt on his ski trip. Shout out to Drip.
Yeah. It was a painful experience for me too. So I'm not at all surprised that that's what he's feeling as well after his first day.
Yeah, his first time skiing. And I do agree, skiing is a little harder on the knees and ankles. That's why I switched to snowboarding when I got old.
that was the only thing I'd ever done. After a little time on skis, yeah, fuck this. I'm gonna get on the board.
I started skiing when I was 5, so it didn't hurt then. So.
Parting words. When you're thinking about calling somebody a coward or a fucking pussy or a bitch or whatever you want to call them because they don't take the fight that you want them to take, just think about Anaguchi. Think about what these guys are risking for you.
Yeah.
So just to put it into a little bit of perspective, you can be disappointed. I'm fucking disappointed with boxing all the time. It's just the natural way that boxing goes. It's more disappointment than not. But keep that perspective in mind.
Yeah, these guys are putting their health and even their life on the line every time they take a fight.
Yep.
Even the guys who aren't on TV.
It's traditional in wrestling and other combat sports to do the 10 bell salute in memory of people. I think it's a small tribute. It's only symbolic, but I think it's important that we do this for Anaguchi. All right. Thank you for listening. Big ups to the Anaguchi family. My heart is with you. See you guys next time.
Cool.